A new version of Ubuntu was released, 24.10, which marks the 20th anniversary of Ubuntu Linux, with the first ever public release being 4.10, as in October 04/04/10. This is certainly a significant milestone. To celebrate the exciting new launch, I will forget all about Ubuntu for a bit and turn to one of its biggest alternatives, Fedora. The aim is to check out Gnome 47, the new release of the popular graphical interface and desktop environment. To get a good glimpse at GNOME as it is now, I have opted to try the beta release of Fedora 41 on live boot. Beta means pretty much that the development is nearing completion and it's already been given out to some people to try and test, but there still might be some fixes and last touches before the software is ready for public release. It works to try it out and see what it's about, but not something I would use as my main operating system. Probably the most anticipated new feature is that accent colors are supported natively. At last the buttons and such can be themed. There are 9 colors available. However, the interface is looking rather grey in my opinion. An accent color is used for some buttons, highlights and toggles, but don't expect it to make the design that much more colorful. Take a look at files, for example. Folder icons remain blue like they are, and the interface is pretty much just white. Here is Ubuntu 20.04 for reference. Not all apps seem to use Gnome's color, like Firefox seems to remain blue. This is still a cool feature, but doesn't change as much as one could maybe expect. Also, Ubuntu is the first to implement accent colors, having it ever since 22.04. Something I noticed myself and what is indeed brought out as one of the updates is updated dialog boxes. Instead of the options taking up the entire bottom row, there is some padding around them and the buttons are rounded. I think this does look nicer. Apparently Nautilus, the file manager of GNOME, can now be used to open and save files, but I don't know, I can't seem to get it to trigger on Fedora Beta. Still, the old dialog box is used here. It seems like it currently works with just some updated GNOME apps. Nautilus does have, however, a new tab for network connections, like if you want to access other devices through the file manager. All drives are listed on the sidebar, not in some other locations tab. You can also remove set bookmarks, such as documents and music. Gnome Shell is now more fit for smaller displays with better positioning there. Previously the icons may have looked really small. I have run into this issue on just virtual machines before I resized its display, but I can see this being a bit of an issue for some. It seems that the dash is sized reasonably, but the app grid still could be larger. While we're at the shell and icons, I see a new icon for the terminal. I think the previous one looked more in style of GNOME icons. GNOME 47 brings a few performance improvements with a built-in screencast or screen recorder now using hardware encoding for better quality and performance. I still do see some artifacts there though. At least the mouse cursor is displayed correctly. To improve performance in general, GTK framework that GNOME uses for applications and rendering has been updated for a more responsive and consistent experience. I get the impression that GNOME releases are pretty hyped up, saying how it's funded a lot and how it will improve so much, and when the update arrives, people say that the next will be a big one. GNOME 47 is nice, I guess. There are changes here and there, but I don't see it as something that changes everything. Let's take a look at Ubuntu 24.10 as well. The name for this release is Oracular Aureole. So apparently Aureole is a bird, but what bird? Oh, alright then. So this time the default wallpaper depicts, as I see, the bird surrounded by eyes and graphs. I think I like it a little better than the last one. Being the 20th anniversary release, there are some throwbacks in the distro. First off, when booting up you can see the text 20 years on top of the Ubuntu logo. And whoa, that's one oversized boot screen. The anniversary logo is used all over the distro where the distro logo is used. It has startup sound, which apparently is nostalgic. Of course, upon loading up the live boot, you get the internal chime as well. One of the wallpapers shows the 3 logos Ubuntu has had. The middle one is my favorite. The wallpaper has a pure white background in light mode. Then there is a light brown wallpaper with the same 20 years of Ubuntu logo. This is a reference to the first Ubuntu releases being colored brown. It uses the accent colors from default GNOME now that it supports that, but adds a warty brown color that goes together with the nostalgic wallpaper. This also turns the top bar white. This release of Ubuntu does add some other improvements on its own. It ships with Linux kernel 6.11. Wayland is used for display by default, even on Nvidia cards. For Snap apps, the progress bar is now displayed on the Ubuntu dock. It uses brand new version 3 of apt command line package manager. You may notice a slightly different layout. I actually first got to see this feature in Debian testing. A quick look also at Kubuntu, the most popular Ubuntu spin with KDE Plasma desktop environment. It finally brings version 6.1 of the desktop. Plasma 6 was held back for 24.04 LTS because there was not enough time to make sure it works with such an important release. I won't go much into details about the new release again, but this brings a new desktop interface which was revamped in 6.1. Some panel configuration is also improved, such as slight improvements to floating panels and an option for intelligent hide. There is a new overview which looks more like the one GNOME has and is an improvement. It comes with updated frameworks and improvements for Wayland display, which is now included on Kubuntu. Some software has been updated, such as system settings, that regroups settings and adds wallpaper and sound effect settings in the appearance section. Kubuntu of course brings the updates of Ubuntu 24.10, like updated kernel and apt. So here I took a look at GNOME 47 and Ubuntu 24.10. I guess it was nice to check them out. While not groundbreaking, there were some noticeable changes like GNOME bringing accent colors and Ubuntu including Plasma 6. And still, happy anniversary to the distro that made Linux user friendly in the first place. So I guess this is a happy note to end this video on. I don't have much else to say. Thanks for watching, perhaps like and subscribe for more computer videos, and bye for now.